Sacrifice and courage, pillars of liberty. As we enter our 11th year of Cost of Freedom weekends, we reflect on the traditions and spirit of our founding fathers and the brave men and women that continued to build our country based on two noble core values: sacrifice and courage. Who are these people? Fearless heroes with strength of character above and beyond the everyday American? No, they are the American soldiers, Marines, sailors, and airmen with the same hopes and plans as everyone, but who in time of crisis or danger, in spite of fear, take action in an attempt to triumph over their situation. In 1781, a young Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Hamilton, under General George Washington, led his infantry in the assault of a British stronghold at Yorktown, Virginia.
Behind Yorktown's defenses, 9,000 battle-hardened British troops are waiting.
Hamilton's sacrifice and courage opened the way for the Continental Army to complete the siege and allowed the birth of America. During the Mexican War, 120 United States Marines stormed Chapultepec Castle, engaging in hand-to-hand combat on the way to raising the American flag upon overtaking the castle. 90% of the Marine officers and NCOs who fought in that battle were killed. The scarlet or blood stripe of the Marine Corps dress uniform trousers is a symbol of the sacrifice and courage of those that stormed the halls of Montezuma. During the Civil War, Union Admiral David Farragut led his squadron into Mobile Bay.
The bay was heavily guarded by Confederate mines, which were called torpedoes at the time. After one ship was sunk by a mine, other Union ships began to pull back. When told why his ships were leaving, Farragut shouted his immortal command, "Damn the torpedoes! Go ahead, full speed!" U.S. naval forces won the fight for Mobile Bay, and Farragut won his place in Civil War history.
An act of courage in spite of danger. In December 1941, Japan attacked the United States at Pearl Harbor, crippling our Pacific Fleet. Despite this setback, the event rallied and inspired a corps of 11 Navy and 66 Army nurses to provide covert medical care and support to the troops throughout the battles of Bataan and Corregidor. They were eventually captured.
So he said, "I want each one of you to remember that you are an American. You are an officer in the United States Army, and you know what your duty and your responsibility is." He said, "There may come a time when there is no one to tell you what to do and no one to guide you, but you will know what your conscience says, and you will know the oath you have taken to protect your country."
The integrity of the nurse units under Captain Maud Davison, United States Army, and Lieutenant Laura Cobb, United States Navy, was an act of leadership, sacrifice, and courage, with the Navy unit earning their historical place as the Sacred 11. Emily Perez graduated as second lieutenant from West Point in 2005, subsequently serving in the 4th Infantry Division of the United States Army. Shortly before shipping out to Iraq, Perez flew to Maryland to be a bone marrow donor to a stranger who was a match. She was killed shortly thereafter in September 2006 by a makeshift bomb while leading a convoy through Al-Kifal, Iraq, a mission for which she had volunteered. She was the first female African-American officer in U.S. military history to die in combat.
Not many knew her, this woman of faith, who graced this earth with not much to say. Her life lived in action, small words, but big deeds. She gave all to others, because that's what she believed. She wasn't centered on self. There were too many in need, and there was no time like the present to help others believe. That life was much more than just gain and promotion. For her, it was all about love and devotion. Her life now is over. But when it's all said and done, she will not be remembered for all that she'd done, but she will be remembered for how she had run.
I'm a machine gunner in the United States Marine Corps. I was doing a patrol and took my team up to the rooftop where we were told we had to set up our machine guns and sniper rifles and everything else. When I jumped from the roof, I jumped on an IED and I was blown up instantly. I broke my pelvis, shattered my femur, lost my legs below the knees.
This was not enough to keep a good man down. A year after the injuries, Matthias was called into action when he risked his own safety, sprinting on his prosthetic legs to save a baby from a smoking car in Queens, New York. Matthias has recently joined his local county police force, protecting his community and those he loves. Sacrifice and courage, the pillars of liberty. Cost of Freedom weekends are designed to show our appreciation for those that had the courage to raise their hands and to swear to defend our Constitution. Our weekend together is designed to honor the families of those that have made the sacrifices that provide us the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Our fighting soldiers, Marines, sailors, and airmen have lived these words throughout the history of our nation, and when necessary, even died for them. A debt is owed that cannot be forgotten or repaid. In the words of Abraham Lincoln,
"It is for us, the living rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they here gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth."
I've been a member of Congress for 16 years. I've been to Afghanistan, Iraq about a dozen times. And I know one thing. The blessings of liberty in our Constitution are secured by sacrifice and courage. And so for those who have sacrificed and for those who have demonstrated that courage, I just want to say thank you. Liberty exists because of you, and your country is grateful to you for that.